A war in the colonies, a small battle led by George Washington, helped begin the French and Indian War. On one side were France, French colonists in North America, and their Native American allies. On the other side were Great Britain, British colonists in North America, and their Native American allies. Great Britain and France had been fighting each other off and on for almost 100 years. Because both nations had colonies around the world, it was not surprising that they went to war again. What began in North America soon spread to Europe, Asia, and the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans. In Europe and Asia, the conflict was known as the 7 Years' War. In North America, it was called the French and Indian War. The British were determined to capture Fort Duquesne and force the French out of the Ohio River Valley. In 1755, they sent General Edward Braddock with 2,200 British soldiers to accomplish this goal. George Washington, eager to return to Fort Duquesne, offered his services. Braddock appointed the young Virginian as a colonel and placed him in command of 450 colonial soldiers. Braddock was an experienced general who knew how to fight wars in Europe, where armies fought on open fields. However, he knew very little about fighting in the forests of North America. Worse, he refused to listen to advice from others. He ordered his men to cut a road nearly 100 miles long through the wilderness and march toward Fort Duquesne as if they were on parade. Colonel Washington warned Braddock that this plan was dangerous. He explained that the enemy could attack at any time from the woods. Braddock ignored these warnings, believing the colonists knew little about warfare. Just a few miles from Fort Duquesne, French soldiers and their Native American allies launched a surprise attack. They fired from hidden positions in the thick forest. The British soldiers, wearing bright red uniforms, were easy targets. Panic spread through the army, and General Braddock was killed. George Washington bravely exposed himself to danger and helped lead the surviving soldiers to safety. Victory for the British. For some time, the war continued to go badly for the British. The situation improved when William Pitt became Prime Minister. Pitt believed the American colonies were extremely important to Great Britain. He decided that Britain must win the war, even if it required spending large amounts of money and sending more troops to North America. Pitt focused on gaining control of the St. Lawrence River and the Niagara River, which the French used to supply their troops near the Great Lakes and the Ohio River Valley. With help from Native American allies and American colonists, the British cut off French supplies. They captured Fort Duquesne, renamed it Fort Pitt, and later the city of Pittsburgh took its name from the fort. The British also captured the French stronghold at Louisbourg in Canada. Another major goal was capturing Quebec, which stood on high cliffs along the St. Lawrence River. In September 1759, British forces led by General James Wolfe climbed the cliffs at night. At dawn, they surprised the French on the Plains of Abraham. The British defeated the French army, although both Wolfe and the French commander, Louis Montcalm, were killed. The capture of Quebec ended French power in North America. The war officially ended in 1763 with the Treaty of Paris. France gave Canada and all land east of the Mississippi River to Great Britain. France gave land west of the Mississippi to Spain, while Spain gave Florida to Britain. Result: Great Britain became the leading colonial power in North America, marking a complete and decisive victory.